My dad was everything to me.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, he wasn't my biological, but I'm a real big believer. Blood just makes you relatives. You know what I mean? Loyalty, and he didn't have to be there.
I mean, there's having the life insurance and taking care of your children, making sure they're set up, God forbid something happens. But then there's life assurance, assuring that your life means something.
Everybody's like, oh, don't do this tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Do it tomorrow. Like, what about right now, today? Let's
Absolutely.
do it today.
Every step in the journey is a win. It's not like, you start at A and you're not successful until you get to T.
Yeah.
No, every step along the way is a win. It's the momentum. You start believing in yourself. I can do this.
Welcome to the Father's Podcast. My name is Emilio, your host, and I'm sitting here with my brother Jose, my co-host, and someone that we've been just waiting to come in, and we're just very grateful for him to be here, Teddy Morse. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you for having me.
We've been looking forward to this interview, and we just really appreciate your time, brother, to come in and share your stories with us, and thank you, my brother Jose, to come in and be part of this as well. So we're here at the Father's Podcast, where we're trying to bring you impactful conversations, something that could, if you take one thing from what we're saying here and it can help you in your life, then that's what we want. We're all here to just give you guys just the secret, to get the secret to success and how to be the best person you can be, right? So this conversation is definitely something we've been looking forward to the last few weeks that, we've been waiting for you to come in. And so we're here, man, finally, right, Jose?
Yeah, man.
We've been wanting this man right here to come in and go over, one thing that that's really looking at your story and looking at your family history is, and we talk about this, right? Like you've heard me say this before, and one of our reels on that did pretty well on our social media was me saying, I want my kids to know who I am. You ask a lot of people, who's your great-grandfather? They don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't know. You know what I mean?
I fall into that category. I mean, I know his name. My youngest daughter was named after him. His name was Alexander, but I don't know that much about him because my grandfather wasn't a talker, So it feels like, I don't know if it's this day and age or what, but family history, it gets lost.
Yeah.
I mean, after your kids go and then after your grandkids go, you're kind of
Fade away.
gone with the wind, man. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's something that, we need to bring back the family values from back in the day, you know what I mean? Where family meant something, you know what I mean? I mean, I think the foundation to a successful family, and that brings you into a successful career in whatever you choose, right? But I'm serious when I say that. I want my kids to know who I am. I want them to say, from where we're from, and my brother Jose can obviously attest to this. We didn't have too much to go by, and when I talked to my mom and I go, grandma, I didn't know she wasn't part of our lives like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's amazing for, to have you here is that you have such a family legacy. You know what I mean? But obviously your dad, your grandfather, right, is the one that really started it. And then you have your dad that comes in, and then now you're here.
Yeah.
It's, you are the definition. And to be honest, even before, and this is a real conversation. This is looking at your story, brother. The reason why I'm so, out of everybody that's came in, I appreciate everybody that's came in this door, but you are the definition of what I want to do for my kids, bro. What your family has done is what I want to start for my kids. At least to plant the seed to say, hey, great-grandpa Emilio started this, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, your family is that, man. You guys have had the blueprint. Your grandfather had the blueprint. Started something. He's legendary in the automotive industry. A lot of kids don't want to do what sometimes their parents do or their family does. There's a lot of things that I have developed over the years that if I die today, it's gone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's gone. I've been blessed enough to have an idea of what life insurance is, that I put myself in a position that I can at least leave something for my kids. You know, if whatever I don't make in my life, I can leave to them. I've taught them what to do with that life insurance money, you know what I mean? How to invest and stuff like that. But ideally, I want to create something, man. I don't know what it is yet, you know what I mean? Even this being foreign to me, social media, at least they'll have these videos to go back to, you know, having the conversations with men like you and like my brother Jose, and obviously what Jose does in his motivational speaking. I mean, he motivates me every single day, you know what I mean? Whenever my leg hurts, I'm like, you know what I mean? I mean, you know,
Yep.
I always tell him he's the motivational speaker to motivational speakers, you know what I mean? Because they're walking on the stage, you know what I mean? So you are 1,000% the definition. Your family is the definition of what I want to create for my family, my brother. So when I say it's a pleasure to have you here, it's a blessing to have you here. I really, truly, truly am saying that with just, I can't tell you how important it was to me for you to come in.
I don't know how I'm going to live up to that buildup, but I'm going to do my best.
I don't know, my brother.
I'm going to do my best.
Well, like they say, actions speak louder than words, my brother. And you've taken over, you know, and I was looking into, you know, some of your, you know, stuff that obviously I found online. And, you know, one thing that I respect so much about you as well is you weren't just given your position. You worked at every level within the company to get to where you are, my brother. So, I mean, you've done your work as well.
I have. I mean, you know, to be fair, I had a pretty good head start. You know, there's no question about it. And I did work different jobs in the dealership, starting out as a porter, basically sweeping out the service drive, emptying garbage. Then I moved up to detail, was washing cars, and then delivering parts and working in shipping and receiving, and then a technician assistant, which meant basically I cleaned up oil and occasionally they let me, you know, change an air filter or something. You know, but worked up. But you know, I had a really solid head start. A lot of people work their whole lives to get the job they want. I feel like in some ways, I'm not going to deny it, through birthright, I kind of got the job that I wanted, but now I have to work every day to earn the job I already have. So,
That's awesome. Well, I think that it's, to be honest, I don't think it's devalued what you've gone through, even though you were kind of, your birthright was there, brother. I think it's, if you have, I mean, I'm at a certain level. My kids are spoiled as you know what.
yeah.
And, you know, and I'm like, guys, we don't have it like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for you to be born into that family and yet have the humbleness to say, I'm going to sweep some floors, I'm going to clean up oil, my brother. That's, you could have said, hey, I'm going to be that lazy guy, I'm going to be that guy, and you weren't.
Well, let's be clear. I didn't choose to do it.
That's what I'm going to ask you.
My old man told me, this is what you're doing.
That's awesome.
And at the time, at 14 years old, 15 years old, I'm like, why can't I have an office? Why can't I sell cars? And he said, no, it doesn't work like that.
Gotta pay your dues.
You know, I got I learned or appreciated what he made me do later in life after looking back at it. And, you know, he told me why he was doing it and making me, you know, do those jobs and work all the, you know, I don't want to call them lower level job, but the entry level jobs in the dealership.
He was telling you why you were going through it?
Well, yeah, he would tell me why, and you know, but 14, 15, 16, you're like, yeah, whatever,
You don't want to
know.
hear that.
Yeah, you know, and he always told me that, he said, you need to do these jobs so when you get to a higher point in management and leadership, that the people will respect you because you've done it. And there's value to that, but it's kind of flipped for me as I get older now, and I only really realized this maybe a few years ago. It's not that, the benefit I got from it is not that people respect the fact that I did the work. It's that because I did the work, I respect the job that they do. When
That's good.
you know, when you're in the middle of summer and I see the guys in detail, it's not that, you know, I don't think that they look at me and go, wow, Teddy did this, so we respect him. No, I respect the job they're doing because I know how hard it is. to be out there in the sun in the summertime in South Florida with a 40-pound buffer trying to get overspray off the side of a car, or or for a sales consultant having to go, show 5 vehicles, and when you get in the cars, they're 150 degrees inside them because they've been sitting in the sun, and you got to move 3 cars just to get to the one the customer wants to see, and then you pull it up, and they immediately go, "Yeah, no, that's not it," and then you got to put them all back, and there is real labor. It's real work, and I've done it. And I think by respecting what they do, it allows me to be the kind of, I don't know, I feel weird using the word leader, but just head of the company, being able to respect what they do. Yeah. And that's what gets me through every day.
No, brother.
But I love that
awesome.
because, there's a lot of CEOs. I've worked in corporate America for a long time. There's a lot of CEOs that are at the top, and they're really oblivious to what goes on in some other departments within the organization. So the fact that, your dad made you go through these different levels of learning and maybe even training, right? Training you up.
Sure.
So that when you did get to that position of leadership and authority, that, no one can come to you and say, "Oh, but you don't know how it is."
Yes.
Because you were in their shoes, right? You fit the bill. So I love that because that kind of like develops, I think, that humility in you, as well as the knowledge base that you need to be that great leader that you are within an organization, and knowing how every department is maybe ran.
Absolutely.
God, I hope you're right.
I must be doing something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: was your dad? How was, as far as what was your dad's journey the same?
Very similar, yes. On a, obviously when my dad came up and started working at the dealerships, my grandfather had the one dealership. So my grandfather founded our company in 1946 as a rental car business.
Really?
He wasn't initially a new car dealer. He was a doorman at the Coronado Hotel on Miami Beach. And one of the functions of a doorman at that time was you tried to procure rent-a-cars for the guests of the hotel. Now, back then in the mid-'40s, you didn't have the big Hertz and Enterprise and Sixt Rent-A-Car and all these big companies. So what my grandfather did is while he was working, he would rent his car out to a guest. Kind of a 1940s side hustle, so to speak.
Yeah.
And he started doing well with it, and he was making some extra money, and with that extra money he bought a second car and started renting that out too.
Wow.
And he bought a third car and a fourth, and it wasn't long. He was making more money renting the cars than he was being a doorman. So he took a loan from his father, Alex, my great-grandfather. He took a loan from him and opened up Morse Motors Rent-A-Car with a 20-car rental fleet down in the Little River area of
And this
Miami.
is in the 40s.
This was in 1946.
That's
wow.
Yeah, after World War II, and then he got out of he was in the Army Air Force. Army Air Corps, which became the Army Air Force, which ended up becoming Air Force after the war. But 1946, Morse Motors Rent-A-Car.
That's amazing.
And he had that from 46 until 61 when he got the opportunity to buy into, as a minority partner, into a new car dealership called Cecil Holland Ford on 163rd Street in Miami. And he was, I think, 20% owner of that dealership until 63 when he bought Cecil Holland out, and it became his first new car dealership, Ed Morse Ford.
Wow.
And that was
he still doing the
1963.
rental,
My
too?
dad was 13 at that point, and my dad used to work for my grandfather. He used to stuff the brochures for like Parrot Jungle and Disney World and Miami Seaquarium and stuff them in the, for the rent-a-car people. And my dad would, vacuum out the cars when they would bring the cars back and wash them and stuff. So my dad started out doing that as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from doorman, side hustle, renting cars.
Yeah, this is I am the beneficiary of my grandfather's side hustle.
That's insane.
Was he
brother.
still doing the rentals also while he owned the dealership?
When he got into the new car side, he got out of the rent-a-car business. He had merged leading up in the late 50s with a company, and it was called it changed from Morse Motors Car Rental to Morse National Car Rental, and he was one of the largest subsidiaries of what became National Car Rental later on, a small part of it, you know, but that's what, you know, the rent-a-car business down here, you know, became. And then then he did a lot with Alamo rent-a-cars, and he did a lot of leasing. He was big leasing, supplying vehicles to the different, you know, municipalities around here, to police, to city workers, to, you know, FP&L, all those, you know, the trucks. That was, you know, a big part of our business for a long, long time. So.
And let me ask you this, because a lot of people, I think that's important, but because obviously he was a doorman, he wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He was working his butt off. He was working his butt off.
He's the one that kind of broke out.
Changed everything.
Yeah, changed his family's destiny and legacy.
But that's what I'm trying to do, brother. Like that's really, like that's what I'm saying, that you guys are the definition of, and everybody listening and watching, understand that no matter how small or something you do it with passion. You know what I mean? Do it with purpose. You know what I mean? We had a gentleman here, that was another speaker, and he said, you find your passion, you know, and that will get you your purpose in life. You know what I mean? And it's just, brother, like, it's insane how, obviously it wasn't easy, right?
Yeah, well,
it was a journey.
Well, it's what you say. You can't fake the passion either. You can maybe for a little bit.
Yeah.
But, you know, to have the passion for what you're doing, that I think can breed the success.
Yeah.
You know, they say that old saying, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Bull stuff. I think if you truly love what you do, you work harder at it than anybody. You work harder at that than anything. Because it not only, you know, it feeds your soul, it feeds your purpose.
Yep.
And hopefully, if you're fortunate enough, it feeds your wallet too.
Absolutely.
So.
And it always turns out to be the one that everyone, I think, looks at as the least person to be able to do it. Like, I'm pretty sure people looking at him like he's a doorman never once would think that what he was doing in 46, 47 is what it is today in 2025.
Oh, no. You could never
you know what I mean? Like,
hope for that.
His lineage would never, you know what I mean? From doorman to what it is now, that was probably never even a thought in
It wasn't in
mind.
his head, I don't think. I mean, you know, it's different levels of success. And it's not that he was a doorman and until we got to the point where our company is now it's a success. I mean, when the first hotel guest decided, yes, I'll rent your car, boom, that was a win. Oh my God, I'm making a little side money. When he bought his second car, now he had 2 cars to rent, he just doubled his business.
Yeah.
That was every step in the journey is a win. It's not like, you know, you start at A and you're not successful until you get to T.
Yeah.
You know, no, every step along the way is a win. And that success, I think it drives your future success. It's the momentum. You know, you start believing in yourself, I can do this. Or, you know, the thought I had, the dream I had was right.
Yep.
But then again, every time you hit that one level, you celebrate it. Yeah. Then you go to bed and you wake up in the morning and say, what's next?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's next? I want to keep moving forward. And not from a greed standpoint, from ambition, you know, from wanting to do more, from wanting to be better. I want to be better tomorrow than I am today.
Absolutely.
And hopefully today I'm better than I was yesterday. You know,
Absolutely.
It's just continuing to grow. And that, I don't know, success breeds success.
Absolutely.
Now, when you were younger, did your father, did you know that you were going to continue the legacy? Or were you one of those that were like fighting against it? Or you knew like...
Well, I knew I wanted it. What I knew I wanted to be able to drive to the nice restaurant for lunch in the Corvette. That's what I saw my dad do. That's what I knew I wanted. I mean, as part of a greater, I want to have purpose. No, I wanted at that time, I wanted to be rich.
Yeah.
Damn it. I mean, what 14, 15-year-old kid? I wanted the nice car, the big car at the time, the Testarossa. Oof. I want some mix of had a song.
I got a poster with that.
Testarossa, first gear.
Absolutely.
You know, oh man, you can. I wanted all that. There was a poster, a very famous poster when I was growing up. It said, justification for higher education. And it had a picture of a house on a cliff with like a helicopter, and it had a garage with like 5 cars. There was a Mercedes, there was a Corvette, there was a Porsche, there was a Testarossa in there, pretty sure a Countach. Yeah. Well, I mean, that to me was winning. Yeah. Or so I thought. And I mean, it is great to have those things. Yeah. But that's kind of a side product of the success. The true value that you get isn't in the monetary things. It's in the pride that you have, not just in yourself. And a lot of people say it's more, it's important to believe in yourself, and I agree with that. It is, but having somebody else believe in you, and be proud of you, whether it's your mother or your father, or your brother, or your sister, or your husband or wife or children.
That pushes you too.
It really does. I mean, I've heard people say, as long as you believe in yourself, that's all you need. Okay, but having somebody else say good job, or look at you and say, how would you do that?
You just got me a little.
That kind of.
Like I'm always telling my brother, man, like that's the reason I get up and I'm fired up, even having to live my life in a wheelchair, the second part of my life in a wheelchair. But it's like you wake up and you know what your purpose is now, right? You have your kids and your family, and you're right, man. I do it for myself. Like I believe in myself. I didn't always believe in myself, but I had to build up to that. But I believe in myself now. But you're right, like I do it for my wife and my kids, and hearing my wife say, "Yo, babe, I'm so proud of you," or "You knocked it out the park on the stage," or my kids like, "Dang, Dad, I'm so proud of you." There's nothing in the world better than that.
But and it's that intersection of them believing in you and believing in yourself. Because when I was growing up, I had wonderful parents. My mom, my dad. My mom's still with us, thank God. My dad passed away in 2016. But I knew in my heart when they told me great job, I knew if I believed it or not. Because there's times when parents will tell you good job because they're trying to build you up.
Yeah.
Because they love you. And you need to hear it. But it's a different feeling when you believe it yourself.
It's real.
When you can, when somebody can say, "Oh my God, great job," and you don't go, "Oh no, man, it was nothing." Somebody says good job and you just say thank you. Because and you believe it.
That's good.
That's big, bro.
That's a different kind of win there.
That's good.
It's even when I remember when I love cars, obviously, I got the one.
I know.
I felt proud of myself, but to be honest,
as a youngster.
Yeah, I've always loved the cars. That's my thing. I know guys that do very well and they drive Camrys, but they got a $100,000 watch on. That's their thing. I've always loved cars. My dad, he wasn't my biological, but he was my dad. He raised me. He was my dad. I loved him to death. He's no longer with us. But I loved him to death, and his thing was Corvettes. He had a 1981 Stingray, 30,000 miles. He knows. We used to drive in it. He used to give it to me.
That's all my old man drove when I was growing up. My dad was a Corvette man.
Corvette guy, bro. Yep. And so when I got this car, bro, I took my dad's ashes, put him in the driver's seat, was the first person that, you know what I mean?
You kidding?
That was it. Yeah, put him in the driver's seat, put the seatbelt on him. I said, let's go.
That's dope.
I didn't let nobody sit in that seat until my dad was in that seat. You know what I mean? And
I know exactly what you mean in a different way, but I know exactly. I don't continue, please. I don't mean to jump in.
No, brother, you know what I mean? Like it's it was so big to me, especially where we were from. We didn't have anything, but he worked his butt off to get that vet. You know what I mean? He worked his butt off to get that, man. And I've worked my butt off, but it meant more to me for him to see me from up there looking down.
Yeah. I have a similar but different. My dad loved Harleys. I used to ride with my dad. He got me my first Harley, sports, and he and I used to ride together. And I'm going to try to make this quick. We always talked about doing different rides together. We're going to go out here and we're going to ride this, go over this mountain, go through this, that. But like so many things in life, maybe next year. We got too much going on, and then my dad died. So in 2020, right when the pandemic, had just hit a few months earlier. The world is shut down, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go and do a ride that me and my dad had always talked about. My dad had died about 4 years earlier, and I went out to, I bought a Heritage Softail, which was the type of motorcycle my dad rode and he loved. Bought it from Grizzly Harley Davidson in Missoula, Montana. And I flew out to Montana, took an Uber to the Harley dealership, signed the papers, gave him a check, strapped my bag on a bike, and for 12 days I rode around Montana and Wyoming. And that's what rekindled kind of my love for riding. And it was me doing a trip that me and my dad had always talked about. And my way of doing it with him was having that motorcycle, the type that he rode. Now, I didn't know this at the time, but that ride affected me so much, and that motorcycle did and brought something back to me that I decided I was going to be a Harley dealer. And I started looking into that, and now I have, company have 6 Harley Davidson dealerships, including the most iconic Harley store on earth, Daytona Harley Davidson. And my first bike week,
That's awesome.
which was in February 23, and we had bought the store in November 22, and it was this green Heritage, the one that I bought in Montana, so I could take the ride with my dad. I brought that up to Daytona, and I rode down Main Street with my dad, that bike, and I had that moment with him because it was something that he always wanted to be a Harley dealer, but his father wouldn't let it happen. The line that he gave my father at the time was, "I'm not," and forgive the word. I got it.
No, it's
He
okay.
said, "I'm not spending millions of dollars to finance your fucking hobby," is what he told my father. So my dad never got to be a Harley dealer because that was back in 05. My grandfather died in 12. He was 91. And then my dad was already sick, kind of in and out of the hospital, had some things going on. And my dad died in 2016. So my dad never got to be a Harley dealer, and he always wanted to. So that was a big part of the reason why our Harley stores are called Teddy Morses rather than Ed Morse.
I did notice that.
Because I had to be convinced of that. Everybody said, we should put a name on, especially Daytona. And I'm like, all right, so what, Ed Morse Daytona Harley? Then they're like, yeah, no, it needs to be Teddy Morse. I'm like, that's no way. I actually have a hat. I had a couple made, EMHD, Ed Morse Harley Davidson. I had the hats made because we were right up to that point, the 11th hour, when we had to give a name to Harley Davidson. They had my mom on me wanting to do it, but what made it okay for me to name the stores Teddy Morse's was remembering what my grandfather said to my dad, that I'm not spending millions of dollars to finance your effing hobby. And my dad went by Ted, and he was Teddy when he was little. So in a way, it's like, you know what? All right, Grandpa, you never wanted this. This is me and Dad. So that's
awesome,
why
bro.
they're
I
Teddy
came full
Morse's.
circle.
I
love those full circle
awesome,
type
brother.
of stories, man.
You talk about, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. When people pass away, specifically if you're a young man and your father goes, your grandfather, a lot of, you start thinking about a lot of things I wish I would have said. And for a lot of people, the ones you hear about are I wish I would have said, I love you more. I wish I would have said how proud I am or what you did for me. Well, there's the other side of it. Sometimes there's negative stuff that you wish you would have got off your chest. I have some of that. There's some moments I wish I would have said I love you more. There's other moments I wish I would have said fuck you more.
Yeah.
In ways, but you gotta let all that go, and just hopefully the lessons they were able to impart, whether they were verbal lessons, something they actually sat down and taught you, or something you just learned by watching them, which is how most of my education with my father came. He wasn't a teacher in the traditional sense. Okay, here's what happened, here's what we did, and here was the result, and that's how you handle the situation. Every time I asked him, I was like, hey, what happened? How did you handle it? He's like, don't worry about it. I got it. Okay, cool. And that was cool when I was younger. I'm like, great. thanks, Pop. Pop's got it. I ain't got to worry about a thing. And as I get older, I'm like, yeah, that's great. I'm glad you handled it, but how?
The how.
How did you handle? And that he never really shared. I give you an example. Something was going on in our company, and I'm at my dad's house, I'm at the office. I remember I walked in. I'm like, hey, what happened with this? And he said, Teddy, don't bother me right now. I'm busy. All right, we'll talk about it later. Yes, sir. I leave the office. That weekend, I'm at his house watching football, and I'm like, hey, Dad, remember that thing? What was this? He's like, why are you bothering me with work now? We're at home. I'm relaxing. Okay. And in my head, I'm like, well, when the hell are we going to talk about this?
Yeah.
You know? And as I get older now, you know, and you realize our kids look at us, hopefully, and they're like, man, my parents got it all figured out. They'll take care of me. They know what to do. And then as you get older, you begin to realize our parents didn't know what the hell they were doing either.
Absolutely.
But it's that you fake it till you make it type thing. You do the best you can with what you got, and you know, your successes you share with your family, and some of your shortcomings or failures, you try to hide it from your children, not from a position of trying to fool them or con your kid, but I want my children to believe in me. I want my daughters to believe that I can handle any problem that comes our way. Do I know that I can do that? I don't know. You don't know until it's brought to you, until the problem happens. But I know growing up how I believed in my father. My father was Superman in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, he was the toughest, he was the strongest, he was the smartest. Now I realize he was just, and that's a hard realization too, when you kind of realize that your father's just a guy.
Yep.
He's flawed.
Yeah.
He makes mistakes. He doesn't get it right every time. But making your children feel safe and making them believe that everything is going to be okay regardless because you got it, there's something to be said for that. I mean, my dad did that. I hope I could do the same.
Now let's switch gears just a little bit. So what would you say some of the lessons or maybe traditions or things that your dad did for you that now you want to carry on to your daughters or do with your daughters?
Do you like green bean casserole?
Depends on who makes it.
I make, depends who, me.
Oh, you okay?
Me.
I got to try it out. You got to cut it for me, though.
Our traditions are, I'll cut it.
I see. You're the cutter from now on.
I did a little mushroom on every piece. I got you. That's an inside joke there. You know what tradition of my dad always carved the turkey at Thanksgiving. And that's my job now, whether at my sister's house or my mom's house or we're celebrating at my house, I carve the turkey. I don't know what the hell I'm doing when I'm carving. When you see me carving a turkey, I got my phone propped up with a YouTube video. I'm following instructions. Yeah, I tell you what, I can put together a nice turkey platter, you know, and that's the fake it until you make it thing. I don't know what I'm doing. If you just put a knife in my hand and a turkey, if I don't have that YouTube video, I'll get the meat off of the bone, but it ain't going to look pretty. Because, you know, it's about presentation, too.
Yeah.
But, you know, traditions that my father had, you know, my mom and dad, a pretty common one I think a lot of people have was we were allowed to open one gift Christmas Eve. Yeah. You know, you can't touch. You got to pick. You get one gift Christmas Eve, and then the rest Christmas morning. And that's a neat one that I do with my daughters as well. Because I got two beautiful girls. I don't have a son. So, you know, a lot of things I do, I look back at how my sister and my dad were, because that's kind of the relationship I have with my daughters. And I don't think there's a person on earth who loved my father more than my little sister. They had such a special relationship, a closeness that I hope I have with my daughters. I'm trying. You know, and I hope
I got to interrupt right there. I think you do, man.
So,
I follow
well,
you on
thank you,
social
buddy.
media, and the way that you interact with your daughter, like, I mean, you're a busy man. You travel all over the country. But one thing I notice is that when you're home with your family, you're all in with that.
Well, when I'm home, I'm home. I
Yeah.
don't, you know, I tell my buddies, we laugh, and it's like, hey, we should get together. And I say, yeah, absolutely. 5 years from now, we'll go have dinner one night. Because, you know, my buddies, you know, we don't see each other hardly ever, you know, because they have their lives and their families and their businesses and they're doing it. Doesn't mean you're not close, you're tight, you know, you communicate. But if I'm not working, I'm home. And, yeah.
That's one of the
That's
things
where
I
I
love
wanna
too.
be.
Like
That's awesome, brother.
you show everything, and a lot of people, like, especially a lot of successful people, they don't like showing their families on social media. You know, they want to keep that kind of like private. But man, you're out there at their plays, at their recitals. You're letting them paint your toenails and put
occasionally,
makeup on, you know,
yeah.
and I'm like, this
It's not, I got boots on now. We're not going to worry about what color I got on now.
But it just no, on the real, like, you know, you know, my real dad passed when I was 10 years old, and my stepdad, you know, he's my dad also. You know, he raised me since I was 3, but he was more of like the worker. He was the provider. He wasn't at home a lot, and he wasn't the, you know, I love you, son, good type, you know, good job type. So when I see other men like you interacting with your kids, and even with Emilio and how he interacts with his kids, and he purposes this time and purposes to keep all of them together and spend time with each other. Like, it's like, oh, that's like all I ever wanted when I was a kid, you know? Like, I wanted that type of environment. So when I see other males being that, which I didn't have,
Right.
like, it just makes me feel good, because, you know, seeing how you know, hearing how you talked about how your dad was with you and now how you are with your daughters, it's just like, that's how it should be, you know what I mean? That's how it should be. And in my opinion, I feel like, you know, not that it probably matters to you, but you're doing a great job.
Yeah, brother.
Hey, why wouldn't that? Of course it matters.
No, but I mean,
Thank
like, you know, like,
Thank
you're a man, you're going to do your own thing. But I mean, just me looking on the outside in, you know, it just looks like you have a beautiful relationship with your girls.
And having, you know, having boys and having 2 daughters as well. And not that I don't love my boys, I love all my babies the same way. But
It's
a different
it's
thing.
a different thing, brother. Your 2 daughters, you said it, protecting. How do I protect them? How can I put them in a position, you know, when they leave the house, you're going to have your own place. Ain't no man going to kick you out your own house. You're going to take care of yourself. I've been telling my 2 little girls since they were babies, and I do this a lot just because I'm so proud of them. And I can call each of them now. I have my daughters, my oldest daughter is 26, and my youngest daughter's 16 now. And I can call them both, and I'll call them randomly. I'll call them, what does a man have to do if he wants to give you a kiss? Climb the mountain, daddy. Climb which mountain? The highest mountain, daddy, since they were babies, brother. That's my thing with them. And I'll call them up, so, you know, every so often and just ask them that question. And I take so much pride in those 2 little girls, brother. It's just a different love. And again, nothing against my boys. I love my babies, you know what I mean? But, you know, the boys, they pop the chest out to you, and I'm sure, like you said, you know what I mean? You know how I'm sure you did it to your dad.
There's a few times.
You know what I mean? And you expect it, you know?
You bow up a little bit.
Yeah, you know.
You want to try them on.
Yeah,
Right, tough
you know,
guy.
and it's a man thing, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a man too.
It's a man, yeah, you know what I mean? You know, Mark Anthony especially, right? Like, but the girls, man, it's just a special love. You just want to protect them. You want to set them up for them to be good. You know, I just think it's just to have 2 little girls, man. It's just amazing, brother. You know what I mean? And it's what you live for. It's you know, when I bought my kids their cars, you know, when I grew up, you know, and you remember this, Jose, remember all the parents that, you know, were better off, right? They used to always buy their kids Jettas. I don't know, in New York, that was like the Jetta.
Jetta
like
was
if
the thing.
If you
That
had a
was the
Jetta,
thing.
you got a Jetta?
Yeah.
I remember the first
good
time.
family.
Yeah, you guys are doing your thing.
Parents are making money.
And I remember when I first started buying my kids cars, to be able to go to a dealership and buy 2 Jettas for my 2 older ones at the time, and be able to give them that, felt better than anything that I've ever purchased in my life, brother. You know what I mean? And then, you know, 2 years later, get the other kids and just switch them out. And, you know, and then to this day, they still all drive Jettas. And,
Remember growing up when Jettas are having, I remember, you know, me and Lorenzo rolling in the Benzo. The that was the ultimate. You made it. Or then
Oh,
BMW.
you had the Benz? Yeah,
now you got to have a Bentley or a McLaren.
Yeah.
Oh, Ashley.
You see these people, and the perception is that you haven't made it until you have that. I don't know if most of you know, but the majority of the vehicles you see on social media, people driving, those are rented.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't own that car.
Yeah.
Most of the houses you see in these flamboyant are rentals. Don't think that you have to have that in order to have made it.
Yeah.
Social media ain't real. Some of it's real, but you got to be able to decipher, what's really real versus something that's real just because you're looking at it. But
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's good.
that's a tough thing.
Yeah, I think that it's our job as fathers to really show our kids, what real is. Keep them grounded. You know what I mean? I mean, whether you're at our level, your level, or whoever's level. At the end of the day, it doesn't change. We're fathers. We're men, and our actions have to speak louder than words. But our words matter as well. We have to have conversations with our kids, talk to them. We talk about this, like you said, your dad didn't really say I love you that much. I've said this before in another podcast. My dad has told me I love you 5 times probably in my life. You know what I mean? And I have one of them on video, and I look at it I have 3 bad days a year. And it's his birthday, his Father's Day, which is coming up. And it's, the day when he passed away during Thanksgiving.
That's my dad's birthday.
Yeah.
Right there. December 19th, 1949.
Yeah.
I got
You
that
got it
after
on
he
you.
passed away. Yeah.
I mean, and again, I'm like you, brother. My dad was everything to me.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't my biological, but I'm a real big believer. Blood just makes you relatives. You know what I mean? Loyalty, and he didn't have to be there. And the biggest thing that
Any
we
man
can
can be a father. It takes somebody special to be a dad.
absolutely, my brother.
Right.
And the biggest thing that we can do as men is to go home, to be home, to be with our kids and show them this is what it is. You know what I mean? And one of the biggest reasons why this is called the Father's Podcast. And I said this before, and I'll keep saying it. Mother's Day, you see a bunch of advertisements, and it's all over. Father's Day, we're lucky we get a Lowe's commercial. You know what I mean? We're lucky we get a Home Depot commercial, right? We have to. For real, just like it is what it is, my brother. We have to let this world know how important it is to have fathers in the lives of these children. You know what I mean? The mother's obviously extremely important. We're not fathers without the mothers. So it's not devaluing what a mother is. Mothers are just as important as fathers, but we're important too. Us being there, us coming home, us talking, telling our kids that we love them. You know what I mean? Protecting them. You know what I mean? And obviously we can't be with them 24/7, but they have to know that we're there. And it's important for us to show our kids an example. You know what I mean?
Well, you're that parachute to catch them. It's like, you're somebody skydiving, they're enjoying it in the wind and the views, and they're spinning around, they're having fun. But as the trouble starts getting closer and closer, what do you got? Oh, shit.
Absolutely.
You got to pull the cord, and then a parachute comes out to gently lower you down and take care of you. That's what the father's got to be. You got to be behind the kid.
Yes.
I'm behind them. Let you enjoy everything. Let you experience life.
That's a good analogy.
But no, if something happens,
I got you.
you just pull it. I got you.
And us as fathers.
Remember, you're always backed by Morse.
That's right. That's it. Yeah.
Back by more.
That's right. I saw one of the things you had 3 words, something like that. You had one. It looks all serious, and then
Just
he's
say
like,
those 3
back by
words. That's all.
Morse.
That's all I need to hear. Yeah.
No, but man, I mean, it's
He's talking about being the protector. That's why you got that knife sharpening kid, huh?
I like to sharpen knives. It's therapeutic. It kind of I'm working on getting better at it, but why not do yeah. Anyway, I like my weapons.
yeah.
You got to have.
You gotta have them.
You got to have.
You
'em.
got to, bro.
Hopefully you don't need them. But you got to have them.
So you mentioned that earlier, like you went on that trip in Montana. Is that why you go on a lot of? Because I see you go on a lot of road trips by yourself, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, this guy's like in the middle of nowhere, and it's snowing. He's in a small little cabin, nothing within 5 miles or 10 miles, and he's just there with his gun and his Celsius, like.
Yeah, that's well, see, I've been, by grace of God and help from my father, I've been clean and sober for 21 years now.
Oh, good for you. Blessing to you.
And a lot of people, they work in life and you have stress and you have frustrations. A lot of people like to go out, you know what, man, I need a drink at the end of the day. Or some people want to go and smoke a joint at the end of the day, whenever they have that way to relax. So I can't do that because if I go out and have a drink tonight, tomorrow I'm having two, and then 4 and 8, and then I'm looking for a little bag of white. It'll go. I can't.
Goes.
I'm not that guy. I can't do that. So where I find my peace is on the back of a motorcycle.
That's awesome.
That's where I can forget about being, Teddy Morse. I can forget about being the CEO of the company. I could not forget about, but in that moment, I'm just a guy on a bike.
That's your outlet.
I'm not the father, I'm not the this, and my responsibility is only keeping that bike going down the road and the twisties and the wind. They call it throttle therapy.
Yeah.
And it's where I find my peace, and I need to take that because, like you said, I'm all over the country all the time. I'm away from my family. I'm busy. We got, blessed enough to have nearly 3,000 team members in our company, and knowing that if I fuck up, it's not just me I'm messing up or just my family. There's almost 3,000 people and all their family members that are relying on me. So to have that time away where I could just be with me and my thoughts and kind of, center myself, and I just love riding. And I try to go like if my kids are away, like I'm going on one in a couple weeks when my kids will be away at summer camp. Because I don't want to just take 2 weeks away from my daughters just for me. It feels selfish. Yeah. But okay, they're going to be at camp. That's my time. I can go out and, Joe, just go get lost in the desert and, just a guy on his bike, man.
I love it. I tell you, I live vicariously through you. Watching your stories on them bike rides, I'm like, man, those views in person, they look great on the social media, but in person, they're probably not even comparison.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. That's why I started doing a lot of the off-road adventure biking thing. Because I read somewhere that 80% of the roads in America aren't even paved. So I would ride around and, you're on a highway and you see a beautiful waterfall and you see the sign, Kodak Picture Stop. And you pull off with 38 other cars and everybody's trying to get the one picture of the waterfall. I'm like, okay, that's nice and all, but I don't want to be down here with the 100 other people getting a picture of the waterfall. I want to be up top where the waterfall starts. That's where I want to be. I want to be a part of it happening. I don't want to just be sitting there behind the fence with a little plaque telling me about the waterfall. No, I want to be up. I want to hear that water going over the edge. I want to put my hand in it and throw that water on my face or get in the water. I do that a lot. I have a hard time riding past a lake or a river and not stopping, jumping in.
Awesome.
Just 5-10 minutes, get back out, throw the jeans back on, and keep down the road. It's about, not just being kind of an observer or not just watching your life happen in front of you, but being an active participant in it, in your life and your kids' lives. And that requires sometimes taking the road less traveled.
I think people have, there's a difference between being alive and living. You know what I mean? And you've managed to, and I appreciate you sharing, the temptations you've had, and congratulate you, 21 years,
Thank you.
That's big. And I think just that alone, for anybody watching or listening, you can have your temptations, nobody's perfect, but it's being accountable as a human being, as a man, as a father, right? To be able to say this is an issue and I'm going to find another outlet to get away from it. That's now that's your riding. And then I'm sure you're not alone, you're with your dad. I'm sure there's many times when you're out there and you're like,
Well, I people call it sometimes an addictive personality. I just try to get addicted to good things now. Apparently now I'm addicted to buying dealerships and motorcycles, but those I think are positive things.
Yeah.
But living and doing that. You were talking earlier, right at the beginning of the show, about having the life insurance and I mean, there's having the life insurance and taking care of your children, making sure they're set up. God forbid something happens. But then there's life assurance, assuring that your life means something.
I love that.
I love that, bro.
Assuring that to your kids that they have that. So,
That's great.
Yeah, brother.
yeah.
Well, it's one of those. It took a lot of pressure off of me. You know what I mean? Having that, just because I've and again, like you said, bro, back in the day, the Mercedes was the, like
pinnacle.
that was the, like, you got a Mercedes, and I've had a Mercedes. I actually traded a Mercedes in for the vet. That's what I traded in at at the dealership. Yes, yes. Thanks to Ed Morse, Sawgrass took care of me. You know what I mean? And brother, like, and real quick, I mean, I was gonna go, and this is why God is just so amazing, my brother. Like, I was gonna go to a place in Miami. I won't even mention it because I don't want to give them any name recognition. Another place, another Chevy dealership. And, my brother was like, I'm in contact with, with Teddy, man. I said, yeah, absolutely. I mean, of course, why not? And, for a year later, almost to the day, to have you sitting here, brother. And literally, I didn't even want black, right? I wanted white, red interior. I had it waiting in Miami. And I get there, we only got black. I'm black, and I was like, and I love black on black. There's nothing more beautiful than black on black.
Batman.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what they call it. And my kids, Dad, I got the Batmobile.
It's a Batmobile.
But I just, for whatever reason, my brother, I said, no, I'm gonna buy from this place. You know what I mean? And now to have you sitting in this chair, my brother, it's like, wow, man. A year later, right? Mm-hmm. And just something God put in my heart, man. You're gonna get this one. And I pray on everything, especially any investment like that, because I kind of sometimes I feel selfish that I'm spending something on myself and not, you know what I mean?
Right.
And but that was, again, for me, for my dad. I always try to, around Father's Day, you know what I mean? Like, and it was around Father's Day that I bought it last year. Father's Day is coming up again now.
Remember when you took him on a ride too?
Yeah. Took him on the ride. I mean, that was a special moment because we were in. I remember when we were young and my dad's Stingray and going up to the Bronx and T-tops off.
The boogie down?
Oh, brother, yeah.
Up there, Arthur Ave?
Flying around, going up to Taconic, getting to, Fordham Ave and going through. I mean, brother, we had some times. Me playing some music, some Silk. He was like, yo, bro, you're not going to be playing it. That's exactly what we were playing. And he was like,
oh, like, bro, we're going to the Bronx.
He's like, we're not going to be playing this.
Everybody was listening to that. You just couldn't. Listen, you telling me when Backstreet Boys come on, you don't know every word? We all knew every word. We just couldn't admit it back then.
I know, right?
He was like, bro, we're not going to be driving around with me in the car. And you're going to be playing that? Come on, brother. That was,
Two dudes in the car.
I know.
Playing Freak Me Baby. I'm like, I don't know how this looks
like, bro. He was like, I mean, bro, I can remember those days. So for us to be in that car again, driving down.
No, I had to motivate him, because he was like kind of iffy about it.
Tell you what, when I leave here, when you leave here, first song you put on the car, put on a little Silk.
That was my shit, bro. Like,
that was everybody's shit. You kidding me? I learned how to treat a girl from 90s R&B, man. How to get Shy, Jodeci, and then Casey and JoJo after that. New Edition.
All for One.
Oh my God, all of it.
Come on.
All of it.
Those were the songs that I would memorize the words. So when I was talking to women,
when you get the cassette, you'd unfold it and you had the lyrics there. That's when you had
bro. I would remember that. And I'd be talking to girls. And, come on. I mean, he knows.
That was our karaoke.
R&B.
Making mixtapes when you had to put the Scotch tape on top of the tape to record over it.
Bro. Come on. Yeah. Hitting it, putting on a press record on the radio.
Having to hit the button when the radio's coming on.
Yep. Stopping it.
Yep.
Yeah, we were, our first business together was me and him DJing at 14 years old. We had our business cards made. We were like the DJs, you know what I mean?
What was your DJ name?
Well, mine was DJ Skills, right?
Yeah.
And you were Jaff with it,
With a
Z, of course. He was DJ Jaff, right? DJ Lord Jaff from what was it from? Who was the other guy that was real big back in the day?
Jazzy
was
Jeff?
Lord Jamal.
Lord Jamal, you know what I mean?
Nubian,
Lord Jaff, yep. So that was our thing.
Nubian?
Yeah, brand Nubian.
Oh.
So we were DJs, and I mean, we were doing clubs already at 14, and
weddings, house parties.
That was our little side hustle. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And so we were big into music, brother. So to go from.
How frustrated did you get when somebody bumped the table?
Oh, like house party, like, you know, dude, bro, get on. So yeah, brother, it was carrying all those crates in and you know what I mean.
Crates, bro.
I still have to this day. I still have my DJ equipment, my Technique 1200s. I still have it at my house set up.
Do you
Absolutely,
really?
brother. Yeah. Now there's stuff that you have one record and it plays a song, but I still have probably 15 crates in the closet. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Yeah, bro. I still have that.
man.
All the oldies.
I got a record player, turntable, and I play some LPs and stuff. It's a different sound. It's a different feel. And when you can, the static, right in the beginning.
Come on, you see on that side, there's that little record player I got back there. I have some records there, and just that sound is just different, my brother. You know what I mean?
I do.
So yeah, man, we're definitely showing our age.
We are
right
officially old now. You might have to call this episode the Grandfathers Podcast.
Absolutely, bro.
We are up there.
So yeah, man, it's been a journey, man. 30 some years ago for us to be in that vet, and then now being in the one that your dealership was able to bless us with, and so it's crazy. And then now to have you sitting here, my brother, it's insane.
Definitely awesome.
Really, really, just a great man. God is amazing, and I think I always say this, and people don't. Sometimes you always say this, but you say it when it's convenient to you. Everything happens for a reason. You got to say it, even in the good and in the bad. And usually, what some of the bad, and I'm assuming you'll agree with this. Some of the worst times in my life ended up being one of the best things that happened to me, because if it wasn't for that bad thing, you know what I mean, that great thing wouldn't have happened. How you never know how strong you are until you hit adversity. You know what I mean? It's just right. Like adversity is what shows you how strong you are, and we have to. A lot of people, especially nowadays, and I heard this, and it just makes so much sense. A lot of people like to go around adversity, but you leave it in your rearview mirror. You have to go through it. You have to be strong to go through it. You know what I mean? And that really just builds the character and builds your your integrity and everything like that. So, your family, man, from your your grandfather being the doorman. I mean, it's just, people don't realize, and like Jose said, like they probably looked at him like, he's a doorman. Look what he's done, you know what I mean? And I say this a lot, brother, like even you being, you were set up with your birthright. There's a lot of people that just would have sat home and you didn't, bro. Whether you wanted to clean them floors or not.
Or let those temptations.
Let those temptations, you know what I mean? You have stepped up to the plate and not only have kept this legacy that your family has created going, have improved on it, did something your dad wanted you to do to create Teddy Morse, Harley, and Daytona, right? Doing so, that's amazing. You know what I mean? That's beautiful.
But even setting goals, because I know you had a goal of 50 by 50.
50 dealerships by the time I turned 50. Yeah.
And how many do you have now?
58.
58.
I got at the end of last year, so I surpassed it before I hit 50 years old.
That's awesome, man.
So now the new goal is the largest privately held car dealer in America. That's the new goal. That's going to take a while, but
you're going to get it, brother.
That's the long
Like
term.
you're planting that seed, like the
I sure as hell
doorman
ain't going to stop trying.
No,
Hey.
that's right, bro. And you're still young. We're old. We're,
Young-ish.
Youngish.
We got
right,
the
right?
ish
We
on
still
the
have
end of
the
it.
energy, right? We still got the
You
energy.
heard it. DJ Skills telling me I'm
with a Z. With a Z.
With a Z.
Only from our generation would you know that, brother. Everything was with the Z.
Everything was a Z.
Everything was with the Z. Yep, DJ Skills with the Z, brother. That's hilarious. But brother, we are, no matter what level you are, I mean, there's always, I love what you said earlier, and I do that. I wake up every morning like, what can I do today? What can I do next? Yeah. That's why I love Mondays. People go, how do you love Mondays? Because people wait till New Year's how about Monday? How about tomorrow? How about, if not, take it to Monday at least. Monday's a new week. And think about what you got to do on the weekend. Think about what you want to improve, and man, make it start Monday. You know what I mean?
Anytime somebody wants to make a change or do something like, and they set a date sometime, and I'm gonna quit this on this day, or I'm gonna start doing this on this. It's like, okay, so you're just setting up the failure beforehand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you're gonna be successful is when you decide to start somewhere. You're like, you know what? Now.
Yeah.
Now.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna do it now. Whatever it is. Start the diet now. Start working out now. Quit alcohol now.
Yep.
Anything.
That's why they say the best day of the week is tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Everybody's like, oh, don't do this tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Do it tomorrow. Like, what about right now, today? Let's
Absolutely.
Do it today,
Well, what do you say? If you don't have a plan, you got to plan to fail.
yeah, if you fail
Right.
to plan, you plan to fail.
I mean, I'd rather fail trying than fail to try. You know what I mean? every day, man, it's a new venture. It's even something like this. I don't have social media. I don't have anything. And God put it in my heart, man. No, you're gonna do something special, brother, and bring in special people that can, hopefully impact whoever's listening. I don't care if it's one person or if we get this platform going where we got millions listening to. People are gonna hear your story and hear, wow, shit, there's a doorman out there that's going, really? Huh? Maybe I should rent some cars.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And look what you can do for your family,
Like
generations in, brother.
Yep.
Because I mean, I don't want my name to fail, to fade out. And I have my children, man, that I live for. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be the person I am. And I truly believe that if it wasn't for my biological maybe not being in my life, I maybe wouldn't be the father I am. So that was my journey. You know what I mean? And again, it's something.
When you talk about your name not fading, and that's where it has to start, it's with your family, it's with your children. Because, like when you say like name fading, like I got my name up on Daytona Harley Davidson and the name Ed Morse up on car dealerships. Yeah, that's great. But one day, who knows when, somebody else might buy that dealership, and guess what? They're gonna take my name off it. That building is going to be demolished. That name will go away. You remember the TV show Billions? Where the guy, Axelrod, when he got back at that family for firing him from the club and he paid the big check to have his name put on the museum. And they said, sir, your name will be affixed there forever. And he said, yeah, until somebody richer than me comes along and rips it off.
Yep.
That's a fact.
Yep.
Ain't nothing we have guaranteed to last forever other than your family's memories of you and your children's love for you. That's what forever is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I don't know if you remember this, but when you, I think it was your last cluster of dealerships you bought was the ones in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And I was following the journey, and I saw like literally you were there, you saw like how you were signing some paperwork, and then I don't remember if it was the same day or the next day, you already had a banner covering the old name, and I messaged you and I was like, well, that was quick, and you was like, well, the check's already been signed.
The check cleared. Yeah. My name's going up.
It's mine. Yeah, they had the banner ready and everything. I was like, wow, that was super fast.
Yeah.
That goes to like what you were saying.
Well, it's like the guy I bought those stores from. His name was Sean Lawley. It was the Lawley Auto Group, and is his name gone off there? Yeah, and in years from now, people in that area, they come, they go, they might not remember the name Lawley. Oh yeah, I think that was a business here. But you know who's going to remember him? His family.
Absolutely.
His children, because he's a good man.
Yeah.
Not every dealer that I bought stores from, was. Most were, some weren't. But I remember this Sean Lawley guy, the one just because you brought it up. What a good man that guy is. So,
That's good.
yeah, really good.
Well, listen, man, that's big that you say that. I mean, again, my whole thing is, and again, I've never had social media. Not a big fan of it. I know you need it in business nowadays. It's something I'm getting used to, especially with the studio and with the Father's podcast. Obviously, we got to have the social media. I feel kind of weird, like I'm not the guy to take the selfie, and you know what I mean?
You're not me neither.
No, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not that guy.
It's just even when I bought my vet, man, it was like I wanted to just ride out with my brother and bring my dad in there, and you know what I mean, like it was but I wanted my kids to see something, like you said, you just couldn't say it. I mean, bro, there's nothing like having your kids be proud of you, having your mom be proud of you, and her remembering. I'll tell you a funny story too. So that vet that I've been talking about, freaking 50, I didn't even have a license when they let me drive it. You know what I mean? Like we go to the bar.
You said it was what year was it?
It was a 1981 maroon
Stingray.
with tan interior Stingray.
Ooh, that's a rich combo there.
T-tops. I mean,
It was dope.
beautiful, brother. We thought we were I mean,
You were. Not thought you were. You acknowledged that
we
you
were. They were like, where the hell are these broke ass? You know what I mean? And so I used to drive it, bro. I used to fly it. And I think you give it a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, no license. I'm flying around in this thing. So I had to probably, like, my dad let me drive it probably like a year and change. And he would argue with my mom all the time, don't let him drive. I guess people used to tell her, your kid's going to kill himself in that thing one of these days, and this and that. One day I'm driving, I just cleaned it. I just got the oil change, flying down Route 32 in New York over there. I see smoke coming out the back. I'm like, oh shit, what the hell is this? Make a long story short, I give it to my dad. My dad brings it to me. Okay, you blew the engine, motherfucker.
Was the smoke white or black?
White smoke.
White smoke.
No, was it? Maybe it was black. I know it was a lot of
white,
smoke.
Yeah.
So you blew the engine, you mother. He was pissed at me, my brother. Pissed. I'm like, I just got the oil change. I'm thinking maybe they didn't put something on. And 20 years later, maybe like 10 years ago now, I'm at my sister's house for whatever it was, and we're talking about my dad, and we're talking about that. He's been about 12, 13 years now, he passed. And talking about that, and my mother goes, you know why that happened, right? And I'm like, why? How you put sugar in your gas tank? She admitted, I'm still mad at her to this day. She put sugar in my gas tank, blew the engine.
So you wouldn't drive.
My dad never knew, so I wouldn't kill myself in it. And she said it like it was nothing, my brother. And I was like, Mom, like that, it was all those years. I thought it was my fault. I blew the engine. She put sugar in the gas tank and blew it. I said, Mommy,
save your life.
To save my life. And to be honest, brother, now she's probably right. I used to fly in that thing, bro. I used to fight, bro. I mean,
Your new name should be DJ Sugar.
Bro, told me 20 years later. 20 years later, she told me this.
That's unbelievable.
And I was like, bro, I was a teenager again. I was like, are you fucking serious, Mommy? How can you do that to me? Do you know how much shit I took from Dad? Wow. Blah, 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 blah. And to be honest, I probably would have, brother. I probably would have. You know what I mean? I was a kid in the candy store. You know what I mean? Driving in that thing.
That's so awesome.
You you remember, bro.
It's terrible, but it's
terrible,
awesome.
Yeah.
But it's awesome too.
I still, so even when I got this one, I was like, Mama, you're not touching.
You're going
she's
anywhere
still here.
near.
Stay away.
Yeah. She was just here. I just brought her. We went to Puerto Rico. That's why we were in Puerto Rico. And I went with Jose. We went out there and I brought her for Mother's Day. It was around Mother's Day. So I took her out there and I picked her up in it. She lives with my sister in Orlando, and I picked her up in it. And I was like, don't touch anything.
Okay, yeah.
Sit in the
Sit down
chair.
and be quiet.
I had to help her in the chair, help her out. But she was just
And
like,
you were able to get her in and out of that thing?
yeah, I got her in and I was grabbing her, picking her up, and and she, yeah, man, it was definitely, it was crazy, bro. So,
I love
yeah,
it.
man, it's been a journey, man. Having the kids, 6 kids, man, that look up to me, that I have to show every day that I have to make the right decisions as best as I can.
Right.
And you got your daughters, you got your 2 boys, like, between us, man, that's 10 kids, that depend on us, man. 10 souls that are going to be here once we're gone, you know what I mean? And we hope that they're going to be great, and they're going to do great things, and their kids are going to do great, right? And
and they'll remember. They'll keep your name alive. That's the life assurance.
Yeah.
I like that.
Life
Remember that
assurance, absolutely, bro.
So listen, as we wrap this up real quick, for somebody that's watching, young kid out there, older gentleman out there, what's one thing that you could leave with them that'll let them maybe change their mindset or their way of thinking on how they can begin to? Because you shared it like I didn't expect you sharing anything like that, but you shared how you came from a great family, but then you had your own struggles. You were able to fight through that, push through that, overcome that, and then now become this, this savage person that just attacks life on a crazy level. So, and I love that because it shows people that are watching and listening that, you can come from a great family and still mess up, and you can come from a bad family and still mess up. And
or have no family to mess up, right?
Yeah.
It's like saying this, that they say it's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? And so somebody who's watching out there, what piece of advice or what tip or what kind of counsel could you give them to, get on the right track?
So see, this is the part I was worried about. This is
it.
in the beginning when you said we look forward to your wisdom. This is where I'm supposed to have some magic sauce.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have it, but like you asked, if I had one piece of advice.
One nugget. One nugget.
All right, give me a second. Well, it goes back to a thing I said about things not said. whether it's the positive or the negative things. And whatever you're going to do in life, whether it's business, whether it's play, whether it's, but most importantly, being a father, which is the reason we're all here and talking about things, is be authentic. If you love your kids, tell them. If you're frustrated with them, tell them. If you're scared, dads don't get scared, right? Be the father you always wished you had. And anything in your life, none more important than being a father. Just be authentic and be there. And I have a problem with this part. When you're with your kids, put the phone down. Put it away. Don't put it down. Put it away. And truly be there for your children. I'm not great at that. I need to get better at that. If you're worried about being a great dad, you're well on your way to being one. Because somebody who doesn't care. So trust me, if you're worried if you're being a good enough father, or if you can be a good enough father, you can.
That's
so.
Awesome.
My brother. Everything I thought I was going to ask, I didn't get to ask. But I think we covered so many incredible
that'll be
things.
part 2.
Part 2. We need to do a part 2, brother.
Yes.
We definitely need to do a part 2. I would love for you to come back in. You've said so many great things, my brother. And again, you are the definition of your family, yourself, being able to take what your family has done to the dealership, to the Harley dealership, to increasing it, to having goals. You could sit there and be like, oh, how many dealerships we got? Good, we're good. You continue to just thrive and thrive and thrive. You've gone through adversity. You've gone through a lot of stress, how you handle stress, how to be able to have 3,000 people depend on you. That's shit. I got my kids that I got to worry about. I mean, like, I can only imagine that many people. Like, you know what I mean? I worry about these young men that help us behind the scenes and what I want to do for these young men. And you guys, this we can edit it out later, but you guys know when I tell you, and Jose, you know this, when I tell them I love them, bro. I love these young men and how we can tell these young men, this is the way you need to be, this is how you got to be. And the fact that you gentlemen listen, and you listen to the OGs, right? And you guys have the opportunity to listen to men like this. And again, we got to do this out later, brother, but it's that important to me as a man, as a human being, to teach, and you said it a second ago, be the fathers that you never had. It's very important, bro. And you have a great dad. He has a great dad. But sometimes we don't even listen to our dad, but we'll listen to the other people. There's a lot of times my boys will come and be like, Dad, somebody told me this. I've been telling you this shit for... But yeah, you know what?
In one ear out the other.
Because I said it.
Yep.
So, we can be the dad for other guys, you know what I mean? For other men. Men don't talk in general. We need to talk more. We kind of try to keep it to ourselves sometimes. And rather than me complain about it, I want to be a difference. I know this man wants to be a difference. You're obviously making a difference. I saw one of the videos of that lady that lost her sisters, I think it was, and the kids that were, sick, the father disabled.
Yeah.
That emotion, brother, that just hurt. It just touched me. It's just, I always say I'll never be as wealthy as monetarily wise because I'm too generous, right? Like I want to give so much, but I really hope that God puts me in a position to help people like you've been helping. I know you have the thing for the kids, the ride for kids coming up in November.
Yeah.
We want to put all these things, when we drop this, because we're going to put a lot of advertising into it for people, because that's in November, right? 16th,
November 16th out of Daytona, yeah.
Out of Daytona.
It benefits a camp called Boggy Creek.
Yeah.
It provides summer camp, a medically safe summer camp for kids who suffer. And they do, every week they do, it's children with cancer or children with muscular dystrophy, or children with blood disorders, or children. Every week is a different affliction or ailment, and they have doctors and nurses on site. If it's the cancer week, they have an oncologist on site. If it's a blood disorder, they have that doctor. I don't know what that doctor's called, but they have the appropriate medical care on site. And so these kids can be a kid. And the neat thing is too, they offer their families to come with them.
Oh, that's nice.
So they could spend the time together. And it's a really, really neat.
There's a lot of guys, brother.
Beautiful place.
There's a lot of guys that are in a position that can do that, that don't. I think there's more people that don't than do. You are doing it. Yeah. And you're the epitome.
And not for nothing.
Yeah, bro.
Not for nothing. While and I'm sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. But the reason you're even here is how we met. Through that fundraising event through the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Right. And just the first time I went, which was last year, I got the privilege to go again this year. But last year when I met you, I was like, man, this guy is such a freaking cool, down-to-earth dude. And look at how much, over the years you've helped to raise over like, what, $4 million?
$4 million. $5
million almost? Yeah.
Almost, yeah. Well, I believe, close to it.
So millions of dollars. So, the thing that I think that's important to say, and I know probably you don't maybe want to like to mention that because nobody wants to like,
I like it to be mentioned so people know there's help coming, but I get weirded out when it's mentioned to me.
Yeah.
Especially when you got this going, because then it's just like, okay, thank
you. But a lot of people will see, you traveling all over the country, you taking these cool bike rides, you flying across, in the jets and the games and all of that, but they don't know that behind the scenes you're helping not only the 3,000 families that you help by employment, but also the other families like me that maybe never even get a chance to meet you, but you're actually helping, to save people's lives or to at least make them a little bit better. And that means a lot, man. And from the bottom of my heart, from the moment I met you, man, I knew there was something special about you.
The way this guy talks about you, brother, I knew, bro, it's going to be a special one. And when I started looking up your stuff and I saw it, he was like, you don't understand, bro. This guy is the truth. Like, he's, you really, who would have thought that two kids from New York like us, brother, would be sitting here with a guy like this, bro. So we appreciate you, bro.
Well, 21 years ago, I was 2 o'clock in the morning in my underwear riding a bicycle about 3 blocks from here trying to find cocaine.
And look at you today.
Yeah.
If that doesn't tell you guys what it takes to be accountable, to give a, like, bro, like if you're thinking that, and I think this every day, like, am I a great father? Am I doing the right thing? Am I, I always, feel I fall short of what I want to be. But you just gave me that reassurance that at least I care enough to that's my goal. Is that?
Are you perfect? No, you're not. No, bro. Neither am I, neither are you. But it's the want to do better, the want to be better.
The desire.
That's where the magic is. That's where the love is.
Yeah.
Just gave you that life assurance, baby.
Life assurance, baby.
Life assurance. I'm a rock with that. I'll give you a credit for like the first 2 or 3 times, but after
that, it's yours. Listen, more people listen to you than me anyway.
Brother, what you're doing, man, is amazing. We just applaud you, bro. I don't think there's enough platforms that applaud men in general, fathers in general. And that's what this Fathers Podcast is about, is to bring people in here. We're not going to get, this, brother, we're not going to get the award and the pat on the back like that. It's like we're supposed to be the protectors and we're supposed to be the providers. And it's fine. I don't need the award. My award is my kids looking at me and being hopefully proud of me. My kids looking at me and going, damn, my dad's always doing this or doing that. Or, I just try my best to be the best person I can be, and really it's for them more than even for me. If it was me, but I'd be living in a room, driving, with sweatpants on, and I remember,
Gray sweatpants.
Of course, gray sweatpants. I have to have the gray sweats.
That's a man's lingerie, right?
Eating a bowl of cereal, you know what I mean?
Fruity Pebbles, Apple Jacks,
all day. Fruity Pebbles, Frosted Flakes, Captain Crunch
with Crunch Berries.
With the Crunch.
Well, either or.
I'm good with either or.
No, I agree with that.
That's my thing. That's my thing. I really applaud you, my brother. And if there's anybody that that you think that would like to share with this on this platform as well, I really would love to bring you in for a part 2. Maybe we can get into more, because ideally we want this to be where fathers are learning, or guys that are down and out, whether they have a kid on the way, or they have a kid, or they think, damn, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, but just listen to what this man is saying. If you even think that, you're already on the right path. If you care enough, then you should be thinking that, right? All 3 of us as fathers, we love our kids tremendously. We're all busy men, but when we're home, we're home. We are trying to lead by example and set a foundation for these young, not only our own children, but other children, like what you're doing with your charities and stuff like that. And I just applaud you, brother. You're changing lives, and I really pray that God puts me and my brother in a position that we can do the same. Because at the end of the day, being passionate and having purpose is great, and if it can fill your wallet to be able to do those things, then ideally you got to make money at it. That's just, money doesn't make you who you, whatever, but it definitely will help your cause. And unfortunately, what's something to us, to us maybe $5 ain't nothing, but there's a guy, and you can go right down the corner, right by that by the bus station. $5 to those guys is they're going to eat today. You know what I mean? And that's just the reality of this world that we live in, that there are people sleeping on, it was 100 degrees the other day, I'm looking at people sleep on the sidewalk. And I go, man, life ain't that bad. Life ain't that bad. And, that's what this is about, man. It's about hopefully creating a platform. Now, hopefully we're doing it, man. Creating a platform to really promote just integrity, character, morals, ethics, because I think all that stuff is gonna just make you successful. You know what I mean? Success comes after all those other things. You know what I mean? You have to have these things, and you're only as good as in business. I have in one of my tech company, on my business cards says your company is only as good as your employees love it. You know what I mean? Like, I literally have that on my business card, because you have to treat the people that you work with. And I always say, you don't work for me, we work together. This is a team effort. And just going back real quick to, you going through what you went through, and Dad putting through those things. And even me, I'm the guy, and I've said this to you guys, right? I'm the guy that when you wash my car, I get out the car and I'm helping you clean my own car that I'm paying you to clean. I'm just that guy. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, I can't, you know what I mean? Any of the businesses that I have, I learn every aspect of it. So like your dad said, like, you need to know so that when they're doing it, you whether, even if it's just business, wise, to know, hey, that doesn't take 5 hours, bro. I did that.
There's that side of it too.
Like, if you want to go that way, but it's just, again, like, they respect you because they see me and they go, bro, this guy will take that suit jacket off, or that guy will come in some jeans and I'll shovel with you. I'll get in the dirt with you, brother. And because I know how it's there, because I was there. I did it. You know what I mean? And I have no problem doing it. You know what I mean? If I see you struggling with something, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to help you pick it up. And I think that no matter what happens in my life, at least I can, I always say this, and I've heard it, you'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You know what I mean? Right? Can't take any of this shit with us, bro. They're only going to look at us when we're gone and say, was he a man of integrity? Was he a man of his word? What did he do with his family? What did he do for his family? And I think that's way more important than any monetary thing you could possibly have in this life, man. So I appreciate you, brother. I look forward to a part 2. Part 2, part 3. You know what I mean? We'll have a comedy session maybe with this man and do this funniest shit.
Session. We'll talk about some old school
talk about some old music and but we definitely appreciate you, my brother. And you have no idea how impactful this has been for me personally. So even though nobody watches this, I've been impacted by you, by your family, by you. Shout out to the doorman, his grandfather, right?
Grandfather.
Yeah. Shout out to his dad, and shout out to the mothers and the grandmothers, because
Amen.
It's a team effort. You know what I mean? It's a team effort. Shout out to your wife. because I'm sure she helps you stay grounded and stay humble, right?
Yeah.
So shout out to everybody in your family, my brother, that has been part of your success.
Yeah, man.
And because I mean, we are who we are because of our family, bro.
Amen.
You know what I mean? And so we thank you, man, so much. And Jose, as always, my brother, you know I love you. Your story is what it is, and if people, that know you know what I mean? And I love you to death.
Love you too, bro.
So, everybody watching, this has been an incredible episode here at the Father's Podcast. This man we're so blessed to have him again. This is the CEO of Ed Morse Automotive Group. All right. We appreciate him being here. Great father, great family, great businessman. Great friend now to me, to Jose, and this platform. We are so blessed to have him here. And we just appreciate you guys for listening and watching. Shout out to Serenity Studios for allowing us to have this platform done here. Shout out to our sponsors, D-Wipes, something for men, keep it clean. And to Rich Off Printing, appreciate your sponsorship. Get your digital Air IDs. We appreciate you guys over there, Andre over there at Rich Off Printing. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. Mad love to everybody listening and watching. We will be back again for part 2 with this man, Teddy, and with my brother, Jose. So we're out of here. Thanks for listening and watching. Peace.
Yeah.